What is up, y'all? It is your girl, D. Erica, and I am back with another Small Talks with D video. This will be episode 7. And in this episode, we're going to talk about boundaries that changed my life that can also change yours. But before we get into that, I'm going to have a vloggy for y'all coming up. It's going to be a fun vlog, so hopefully y'all enjoy it. And yeah, so let's get into this podcast video. Okay. So today we're going to talk about boundaries. And before we get started, I just wanted to let y'all know, like, I didn't learn like boundaries and how important boundaries were until like last year. Like, no lie. I'm like so serious, especially when it comes to men. And I feel like that is a very big deal when setting your boundaries. So, yeah, your girl was a little slow learner on boundaries, but I think it happens to the best of all of us because we want to be nice, I, people pleasers, like, I don't know. So, if you've ever felt drained, resentful, or stretched too thin, sis or bro, okay, it's time to talk boundaries. Um, what made me realize I needed to do better with my boundaries was having a baby daddy. And if you have a baby daddy, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Honey, I have 2 of them because I had a miscarriage early January, but we'll talk about that in another video. Baby, I got 2 baby daddies, and they both think they are entitled, okay? I don't know if the second baby daddy count, although we do have a baby, I don't know, whatever, but I still consider him a baby daddy. But have respect for him. I don't talk to him no more because guess what? Your girl set those boundaries. And he didn't like that. So now he mad. So if you have a baby daddy or 2 or 3, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now my first child, which is Ronan, y'all know Ronan, his dad is the worst. Oh my God. Jesus. Whew. We'll talk about that another time. So why do boundaries matter? Boundaries aren't walls, they're clarity. I learned that somewhere. I have to let y'all know later where I learned that at. But you don't set boundaries to push people away. You set them to protect your peace, energy, and purpose. And let me tell you something. I didn't realize how much peace you get when you really do set those boundaries. Because no lie, like sometimes God will show you like this person's not the person you need to be dealing with. Like you need to put your foot down when it comes to this person and things like that because your life can be going so good, right? And then let's say you have to you double back, right? And like you double back and you start back dealing with that person, then like it's like life falls off like a little bit, not too much, but like things you start to know like things change. It could be like finances, job, your mood and stuff like that because God will literally show you like this person is not the person you need to be dealing with, and I'm gonna keep showing you that you're not supposed to be dealing with this person by taking something from you. So I feel like it's very important to set boundaries when it comes to certain people, especially if you notice like, oh, my life starts to go this way or that way when I deal with this person. That's just God showing you like you need to leave this person alone if you want to elevate. I can't have you move on to the next, or I can't have you elevate in life if you're going to keep dealing with this person that's going to hold you back. This person doesn't deserve your space, your energy, or anything that you give them at all whatsoever. And God has showed me that a million times when it comes to my child's dad, but we will get into that later. Without boundaries, you'll be burnt out, broken relationships, and bitterness. When I hate saying so let's rewind that back. So with that, there, burnout definitely because you're gonna burn yourself out trying to think like, do I need to do this? Like, why I can't say this, or you do burn yourself out. It's not even with like just baby days in general, just like with anybody, because like people can run you raggedy. If people can tell that you don't have your boundaries set and you don't know how to say the word no, you'll burn yourself out trying to please everybody. And I used to be that person or whatever. Low key. We're gonna say low key because it'd be some people I'm not jumping for because you ain't never jumped for me. But it was other people like I would jump for literally. Like Yes, and there's some people I would still do that for because they mean so much to me. But then you have to realize, like, wait a minute, if I call this person, they're not jumping for me. So that's where you have to set your boundaries. Like, no, I'm good, or whatever, or like, no, I can't do this, or whatever. Although that's not the type of person you want to be, but sometimes you have to set those boundaries because they don't set those boundaries for you. Like, so whatever. Okay, so now we're going to talk about boundaries that changed my life. Okay, so this very first one is saying no without explanation. People have to learn, like, when you say no, you don't have to explain yourself as to why you said no. The answer is no. And I used to always, well, I never really said no to people, so I had to learn, like, when I say no, I mean no. And some people be like, well, why this, why that? Because I said so, and I don't have to explain to you why I said no. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn that as well. Like, don't explain to somebody why you saying no unless it calls for an explanation. And when I say that, it's because let's use sex for example, right? So let's say you have somebody that's always hitting you up or whatever the case may be. Y'all not on the same page, but they always looking at you as like they always call you for sex, and you finally say no to them, and they're like, oh, why you acting funny? Oh, it must be another man. No, it's not the fact that it's another man. It's a simple fact that you're not giving me what I want out of this, situation that we got going on. So, for instance, like with my child's dad, right? Y'all ain't gonna know which one I'm talking about because I got two baby dads, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be obvious. But this man literally, like, I used to feel like, oh, well, this man is not going to give me no money, or he's not going to do what he's supposed to do for his child unless I have sex with him. And that's how he made it seem. That's how he made it seem. And he still makes it seem that way to this day. At the end of the day, I don't need you. I did it by myself for 4 years. So it's like, and it gets a little harder now that my son is a little older. So it's like, whatever. But when you start saying no to people, they don't have that control or that power over you anymore, you want to see how their attitude change, because they're not going to be used to that. They're used to people running to them, or like not denying them, or especially you as that person, as if like me telling my child's dad no is like a shocker to him, because I would used to never tell him no. And then like this dude that I used to deal with last year, I would never tell him no either. Like, he tell me like, let's go out somewhere, or let's link up, let's go out, whatever. It was always, all right, I'm on my way. It was never no. So now, like, and we stopped talking because this man was literally like all about his homeboys, and I used to say he was gay. That's why I used to call him. I used to call him gay. Like, you're gay, because if your homeboys call you, you're going to go running. But if I call you, you're not running to me, but you're running to those homeboys, but you want me to run to you every single time you're hitting me up. So y'all, like, once I, like, this year he started trying to like talk back with me or whatever, and then this year he wants to be the man that I wanted him to be last year, that I knew that he could be. But it's funny because now I'm like, no this, no that. He was like, you used to always come running, you used to. Exactly, your girl learned her boundaries, and I learned that I deserve better. And now the answer is no. Like, you can't be mad at the fact that I've set those boundaries. You had your chance to have that woman, and now you want me to be that woman to you now because of what? Because why? And I feel like with women, even men too, like with women, we have to really learn to set our boundaries when it comes to these men, because they will literally play in your face and then later on realize what they have when it's gone. Like, now he's sitting up here questioning me. Oh, you must be running to another man. Yes, I am. Because you know why? You know why? You had your chance, and I'm not the type of person that will spin the block. I don't spin blocks. I hate that, because I now look at you like you're still gonna be that same person that you were before, and now you missed the woman that you had. Like, that don't even make no sense to me. So now that I done set those boundaries, he want to be mad. Be mad. I don't care, because now I know my power, and now I have control of the situation, and you're not going to treat me how you want to treat me when you had your chance to have the woman that you wanted back then last year. So Yeah, so moving on. The moment I realized that no is a full sentence, we have to realize that no is a full sentence. Like I just said, you don't need to explain to nobody why your answer is no. The answer is no. Don't explain yourself. Like this little quote says, no is a full sentence. Don't explain yourself to nobody, okay? Set that boundary because you don't need to give no explanation. It's you. So I did discuss what changed when you stop negotiating your no. So basically what changed when it comes to these men is the power and the control that they think they have over you. When you put your foot down, you say no. So yeah, which is I explained that briefly, you know. Number two was going to be about work and how to set your boundaries when it comes to your personal life versus your work life. So setting limits with clients, friends, or family when it comes to your availability. Let me tell y'all something. I learned this the hard way. I felt like when I first started Lip Karma, when I first started my business, I was on other people's time. I wasn't taking in consideration my time. I would tell people like, okay, well, we can have the meeting whenever you're ready. We can do this meeting at this time, at this time, this time. So I was being like considerate of other people, but not considerate of myself. I was having meetings at 10 p.m. at night, knowing I needed to be in bed at 8 p.m. because I had to get up at 7 a.m. to get myself together and my son together for school, and then we're oversleeping. So you need to set those limits when it comes to anybody. So like even with friends and family, like when I go out with my friends and we're out all night, they just be like, "Come on now, dear, come on, girl, we're gonna go to the after spot." And I had to learn, like, and I just be like, "All right, let's go back. We'll go to the after spot. I'm gonna go with you. You know, if it's gonna make you happy, okay. But I'm not happy. Like I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be moody because I want to go home and I want to get in my bed. The club closed at 2. I want to be in my bed at 3. You know. So I also learned to like tell my friends like, no, bro, like your girl is not staying now till 6 o'clock in the morning this time. Now, don't get me wrong. I have them nights where I be feeling myself and I be want to stay out that late and I have to pay for it the next day. But sometimes it's just you have to just say no. Like if you're not up for it, if you're not in the mood for it, say no. Even when it comes to your family, like, okay, I've learned like some people are not going to show. I explained this in my last podcast video. Some people are not going to show up for you like you show up for them. And we have to realize that because like let's say you have a graduation. Who gonna show up for your graduation? Is that same person that you called out of work for going to show up to your graduation? No. So therefore, set your limits, set your boundaries. If you have to work and you know that person will never show up for you like you will show up for them, take your tail to work. Set that boundary of knowing like, oh, okay, well, you ain't show up for me like that, so I'm not about to show up for you like that. I'm gonna take my tail to work because I am scheduled to work. See me, I'll be the type of person to call out of work to be there for you. That's just me. But I have to know like is that something you would do for me? Because at the end of the day, we all try to say our feelings won't be hurt. Yes, our feelings will be hurt because it's gonna be like, well, dang, I had called out for you. You couldn't do the same thing for me, you know? So turning off the always on switch as an entrepreneur. Oh my God. And I put that in there because I know I'm an entrepreneur. So, oh my gosh. Listen, I had to set this thing to where like okay, I am a business owner. And I also have to tell like this guy that I was dealing with at some point in time, you have to turn business off because if you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Trust me. Like when I first started Lip Karma, my life was Lip Karma Ronin, Lip Karma Ronin, Lip Karma, Lip Karma, Lip Karma Ronin, 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 Lip Karma, Lip Karma, and I drove myself crazy. Okay, because I felt like as a business owner, I need to always be on go. Like I need to always be able to answer a phone call or email or a text message. Like, no, set yourself a time limit, which is setting you a boundary of when you are available to do what needs to be done for your business. Yeah, we can sit in bed all day and handle business. I still do that to this day, especially if I don't have anything to do. I will sit in bed and handle business. Sometimes I'll be up at night handling business knowing I need to be asleep. But I set myself a boundary to where like after 7 p.m. No. It used to be after 7 p.m. That was a long time ago. Now it's after 5 p.m. Don't hit me up about no business. No nothing. Because now when you're in a relationship and you have kids and you possibly have family you want to like see and stuff like that, You have to set that boundary. And I also set a boundary to where I don't work on Sundays. Don't hit me up about no modeling gig. Don't call me about anything on Sunday. It's gonna wait till Monday. Leave a voicemail. Because I'm usually on Sundays I'm with my family, like, or I'm chilling with my family, and me and my son are out and about doing everything that we can. Even on Saturdays, like, if I do handle business on a Saturday, I set the boundaries to where, like, okay, it could be early Saturday morning, because usually on Saturdays, you're out, you're having a good time, you're partying, or whatever the case may be. Because baby, on the weekends, I live my life. I live it to my full potential, okay? Whether if it's with my son or without my son. So I set that boundary to where my weekends are for me, for myself. And when I say for me, for myself, that's if I want to go out to the club, I want to take my son to Carowinds, or if I want to, hang out with my man, or whatever the case may be. My weekends are for me. And I set that boundary for myself when it comes within my work, because if you don't set a boundary when it comes to your work, especially as an entrepreneur, you're going to drive yourself crazy, and you're going to let yourself go, and you're going to lose yourself. And we don't want that. We don't want that at all. And I had to learn that, especially with my modeling career, my acting career, because I was having meetings at 10 o'clock at night about photo shoots. We don't want that. Okay. We don't. I still do, because my photographer, he gets off work pretty late. So he get a slide. Like, we probably talk about like 7 o'clock at night or whatever. So he get a little slide because he be at work. So whatever. But how creating a hard stop give you more control and creativity? So when you have that time, because you set that boundary, you have time to, recharge your brain. That's what I'm gonna say, recharge your brain and things like that. And then, like, you will have time, your brain will have time to rest and recharge itself, so that by the next morning you're ready to get your creativity going, you're ready to think, and things like that. So yeah, put a hard stop and give yourself more control of your time when it comes to yourself, your businesses, your family, your friends, and things like that. Just set those boundaries, okay? Just set them. Number 3, emotional access is earned, not given. Emotional access is earned, not given. And I think we do this on purpose. Like, we give people access to our emotions. Like, I don't think we notice that we give them until we, like, sit back and realize that we do give them a lot to people, especially to people who don't deserve them, right? So not everyone gets access to your vulnerable side just because they've known you a long time, okay? In fact, because I've seen people that you've known for a long time turn on you. So it's kind of like, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's kind of like, how do you judge, or how do you come up with who gets access to your emotional side? You know what I'm saying? Because now, like, today, I'd rather just keep it to myself, or go see a therapist. They'll listen to what you got to say. I went to a therapy session one time for my miscarriage. I liked it, but it's hard to, like, conversate with somebody you don't know. So it's kind of hard to, like, judge who gets that access. And I hate that, because I'm an open book, and I would love for people to come to me and be able to talk to me. And I've always give people that, even strangers, like I said in my last video, strangers will literally come to me and vent to me, and I'll be like, all right, what's up? I don't care, I'll listen. I'm gonna forget what you said anyway, but we're gonna talk about it. I'll probably give you a little bit of advice if I can. So it's hard to judge who gets that access. So it's kind of just like, just talk to God about it. But it's good to have somebody that you can, like, physically talk to, that actually knows you, or knows what you're going through, or that situation. But it is hard, because it's like, you fall out with these people, they want to throw up what you told them in your face and stuff like that. Me, there's no shame in my game. I really don't care, because then at this point I gotta beat your ass. But it is what it is. Learning to hold space for yourself before pouring into others. That's important. Pour into yourself before you pour into others. It's that simple. Be there for yourself before you're there for others. Because we tend to show up for people before we show up for ourselves. And later on, that takes a toll on you for sure. How to recognize who is safe and who is just familiar. No one is safe. And I'm saying that because I learned the hard way. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Mm-mm. Now that I think about it, no. Scratch that, changing my mind. What was that noise? Okay, anyways, changing my mind. No one is safe. No one is safe. Like I was saying before, like, who do we know or how will we know who to get that access to? No one is safe. No way. And it's crazy because you can know somebody for so long. You can know so much about them. You could never like pour their business out, but they'll pour yours out because they have nothing to say about you but to tell your business of who you used to be. And that's usually what it is. People don't never like talk about who you became. They always want to talk about the old you or what you went through a long time ago. They never want to talk about the new or what you got going on because it's going to 9 times out of 10 it's positive and it's going to make you look good. They want to talk about something that's going to make you look bad. So I feel like that no one is safe. Like no one is safe because eventually, no matter if they, even if y'all not falling out, people will find somebody to tell your business to that they know will not tell you that they told their business to them. So it's kind of like no one is safe. Not even your parents. They're not even safe either. Well, I feel like I can talk to my daddy and not worry about him telling nobody nothing. But my mama, on the other hand, I feel like I can tell her stuff too. I don't know. She a little iffy. She a little iffy. So we'll revisit that one day. We gonna see. I'm gonna like tell a lie about something. I'm gonna see if she tells somebody else. She a little iffy. Y'all know how mamas do. But yeah, no one is safe. So I had to stop oversharing with people who didn't honor me. Just because someone asks you what's wrong doesn't mean they're entitled to your truth. Your peace becomes too expensive to keep handing out discounts. Listen, y'all. Just because somebody asks you what's wrong does not mean you have to tell them what's wrong. Like we were just saying, no one is safe. It's up to you if you want to tell someone what's wrong with you because you may want some advice. I'm that type of person, like I don't mind telling people what's wrong with me because okay, you may have some advice for me or whatever the case may be. Have always been an open book. I really don't care. But I had to learn like don't overshare. Like don't overshare too much, especially when it come about a man, honey, because I will whoop your ass about my man, okay? But don't overshare. If you are one of those people who feel like you have to say something, you have to don't overshare. Like tell bits and pieces. Like don't say too much. But you're not entitled to tell people what's wrong with you. Just be like, oh, just going through something. I'll get over it. And if they be like, well, let's talk about it. If you feel safe enough or you feel like you can talk to this person about it, go ahead, cool. And if you're like me, you're an open book, you really don't care and you want to talk to them about it, yeah, do that. But don't overshare. I had to learn not to overshare because I will overshare anything in a heartbeat. I don't care. I'll tell you down to the details, okay? I'll even tell you what color drawers I had on that day. Okay? That's how I am. I don't really mind telling things, but you have to learn like eventually they could throw it up in your face later on. Although you came to them being vulnerable with your emotions and you gave them access to your emotional side. So yeah. How to set boundaries without feeling guilty. Hmm. That's a good one. How to set boundaries without feeling guilty. So let's say someone invites you out somewhere, and you can always be like, I appreciate the invite, but I can't commit to that right now. And let me tell y'all something about let me tell y'all something about this man. Okay. He is that person. Like, I always have to get on him about taking time for himself and relaxing. He's a businessman. So I have to always tell him, look, take some time for yourself. Let's go to my family house. cook out, eat, chill, relax. I don't want to see you pick up that phone and handle no business at all, or whatever the case may be, unless he has to. I mean, but relax. You know, but he's the type of person, like, he will tell you, I really appreciate the invite or whatever, but I can't come here right now. He is big on his boundaries, honey. He don't play about his boundaries, okay? And I learned some things from him too. So it's like whatever. But yeah, just like tell them that something came up, or like I have something already planned for that day, or whatever the case may be. Also, let's say someone wanted to go out with you at 7 o'clock. You can always tell them, I'm not available after 6. Let's reconnect tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be free after 6. That's without feeling guilty. If they're not free after 6, pick another day. And let's say also they want to, somebody ask you what's wrong. You can always say, that's not something I can discuss right now, because usually if something is wrong with us, if we talk about it, we're gonna cry. Especially if it's hurting us, we're gonna cry about it. You don't want to talk about it right now because you're too emotional to talk about it, too emotional to discuss it. So it's gonna be hard for you to talk about it because you're gonna be crying the whole time. So you don't want a pity party. That's how I am. I don't want a pity party. So we ain't gonna discuss it right now. We'll talk about it later. So guilt is a sign, okay, that you're breaking a pattern, not that you're doing something wrong. If you're feeling guilty about setting your boundaries, you are doing the right thing, because you're supposed to feel guilty because you're setting those boundaries, but you're going to feel bad because it's like, dang, but you have to set that boundary. So if you're feeling guilty, you're doing something right. And so we're going to end this subject with a little affirmation. So boundaries don't mean I'm hard to love. They mean I love myself too. So hopefully this episode will encourage y'all to set your boundaries. It's going to take a little minute to realize it. It's going to take a minute to, especially if you're new to setting your boundaries, it's going to take you a minute to get a hang of it. Trust me, I'm still trying to get a hang of it. I'm learning to set my boundaries, but I have definitely learned to set my boundaries when it comes to these men. I definitely have learned that, like, I put my foot down and no was no. So it's going to take a minute. It's not going to be easy, especially if you are a person who has a big heart. So, and you are an open book like me, it's not going to be easy, because it's definitely not easy for me. I always feel guilty. I always feel like the bad guy, but it is what it is. And eventually we have to learn that, to protect ourselves, to protect our energy, to protect our emotions. So with that being said, set them boundaries and watch how it change your life. And then when you set those boundaries, you will then see who's really there for you, who really fucks with you, and who really don't. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Leave a comment down below on any tips and advice you have on setting boundaries that I may have missed, or anything that you guys want to share. You can also DM me if you like on Facebook, Instagram. It doesn't matter. I am D Erica, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.